Welcome to Toad's Professional Gaming, the channel where professionalism is optional, but enthusiasm is mandatory. Real-time strategy games have always felt a bit grim, haven't they? You peer down at a battlefield, watch the chaos unfold, and think, bloody hell, I really cocked that up, didn't I? Well, let me introduce you to Aliens Dark Descent from Tintalus Interactive, better known for their Battlefleet Gothic Armada series, which showcased their knack for blending strategy with high-stakes drama in space. This game takes a smaller-scale squad-based approach, but don't let that fool you. It's packed with nerve-wracking tension and a constant sense of impending doom. Aliens Dark Descent takes that same feeling of dread and sprinkles in some pulse-pounding Xenomorph carnage for good measure. It's tense, it's stressful, and at times it's outright brilliant, until it fumbles its narrative and pacing.
I am so sorry. Cerberus protocol activated. Purging
The
contaminant.
game kicks off with a wonderfully bold twist. I stepped into the shoes of Deputy Administrator Maiko Hayes, who panics during a Xenomorph outbreak and decides the best solution is to obliterate every single ship in sight. Naturally, the ships aren't infested, oops, and Hayes quickly realizes she's turned her local neighborhood into a desolate wasteland. It's a rare and clever move. I was now playing the horror trope, the idiot who makes everything worse.
Get out of here. Now!
Sadly, that's where the intrigue ends. Beyond Hayes' opening blunder, the writing never matches its initial promise. I teamed up with a crew of space marines who might as well have been cardboard cutouts of tough guy cliches. They barked orders, flexed their egos, and delivered dialogue that lacked any of the wit or depth that makes characters like Hudson or Vasquez so iconic. If Aliens Dark Descent was aiming for the camaraderie of the films, it missed the mark by a mile and a half. Now let's talk about where Aliens Dark Descent shines. The game had me gripping my controller harder than a Xenomorph grips its victims. Every mission feels like a gauntlet of terror. Maneuvering my squad through darkened corridors, I was glued to the motion tracker, praying that nothing moved because when something did, I knew things were about to go sideways fast.
What the hell?
Combat is tactical and relentless. You're not just gunning down Xenomorphs willy-nilly, although who wouldn't want to? You've got to think on your feet, setting up mines, deploying sentry turrets, and positioning your squad like a chessboard with legs. But it's not all pew-pew fun and games. Resources are limited, and every encounter makes you question whether you've got enough left in the tank for what's around the corner. And then there are the hordes. Oh, the hordes. When the game warns you a Xenoswarm is inbound, it's panic. I'd frantically scout for a defensible position, try to remember if I'd saved any grenades, and mentally say goodbye to at least one squad member. It's these moments of pure chaos that the game absolutely nails. Sadly though, the boss battles don't keep that same energy. They're heavily telegraphed so you know exactly when they're coming, which kinda sucks the tension right out of the room. And if you're not perfectly prepared, good luck. They're unnecessarily punishing and end up disrupting the game's otherwise excellent pacing. What impressed me most was how the game made me care about my Marines, even though the characters themselves were a bit meh. They weren't just meat shields for my poor tactical decisions. They were fragile humans who could crack under pressure. Each soldier has a stress meter which skyrockets when they're knee-deep in acid blood or being chased by a Xeno. To keep their heads in the game, I had to create safe rooms, welding doors shut so they could catch their breath and stop freaking out. It's a brilliant mechanic that added a layer of humanity to my squad. Outside of missions, though, I had to play nurse and therapist. Wounded Marines needed days to recover in the medical bay, while the traumatized ones were off to the trauma center for a little R&R. It's very XCOM in its approach, and I loved it. Keeping my squad healthy and sane felt like its own little game, and it gave me a stronger connection to the poor sods I kept sending to their deaths.
Nothing in, nothing out. I'm sorry, Administrator Hayes.
Aliens Dark Descent is a game that thrives on tension. Its moment-to-moment gameplay is sharp, inventive, and stressful in all the best ways. Whether I was fighting off hordes, managing my squad's mental health, or simply trying to make it through another corridor alive, I was hooked. But for all its tactical brilliance, the game stumbles elsewhere. The boss fights feel clunky, the writing is disappointingly shallow, and the characters don't hold a candle to the Marines of the films. It's a shame because there's so much here that just works. If you can overlook the narrative missteps, Dark Descent delivers a gripping strategy experience that'll leave you sweaty palmed and eager for more. Just don't get too attached to your Marines, they're definitely not making it out alive. If you're a fan of tense, strategic gameplay like this, you may want to check out XCOM 2. It offers heart-pounding tactical action with high stakes and a little more character depth. Thank you for watching Touch Professional Gaming. Don't forget to like and subscribe, and let us know what you thought in the comments. Did you survive the Xenos, or did they have you for lunch?